Welcome back to Taste of Change. I'm Dr. Irina Koles and the program supported by Bazaar Supermarkets. But today it is also supported by our special guest, Dmitry Rybinsky. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for introduction.
And Dmitry is a realtor, but he has a passion for cooking, right?
I love cooking. I love cooking and I love to explore different ways of cooking and something new. And today we're going to talk about a very interesting way to cook food, which is called sous vide. And I just want to show you the spelling of the word. Actually, it's the words. And just to help you to go online and do your own research, because there's a lot of information online. We try to give you as many details as possible, but we want to jump right into cooking the meat. And while we're cooking, we'll explain what we do, what we're doing, why we're doing such things, and it will help you to understand the whole process.
Oh, thank you.
So the first thing we're going to do, I believe that every single recipe starts with good ingredients. So we're going to start with good piece of meat. So today we're going to cook meat, but again, I just want to repeat, you can go online and search different kind of food you can cook using sous vide. So we take the meat, we're going to cook the steak, and I have different spices on the table, but sous vide is very forgiving method of cooking because you can use any kind of spices. There's no specific way. For example, use salt, use pepper, use garlic. We have different kind of peppers. But again, the essential parts would be salt and pepper. And I would say olive oil, but we'll get to the point. So we take a piece of steak and we're going to use a little bit of salt. Again, to your taste.
Yeah.
Flip over. The meat is beautiful.
Salt can always be added later. Right?
Yes. Yep. So salt, pepper.
This is beautifully ground pepper.
Yep.
Oh.
I know you can't wait and you don't know what's going to happen next, but just stay tuned. I use garlic. Garlic. A little bit of garlic. It's
You use powder.
powder. Yes.
I never know. Like it's good. Like if
Yep.
It's
Powder.
makes sense.
I have
I got that long.
smoked salt here. Just be careful. Don't put smoked salt too much.
Smoked salt.
I just like the smell.
I've never even.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not much.
Wow. It's black.
Just don't forget. We want to taste the meat. We don't want to taste different spices.
Yes, it's special.
I have different kind of pepper. I would say it's mixed peppercorn, but you can use regular pepper. We already use pepper, so I'm not going to put too much. Maybe just a few pieces.
We'll learn from you. And want to know how you cook.
I have coriander here.
Oh.
I like the smell of coriander. Turn it over. Put some more here.
Wow.
And I have this beautiful green stuff here, which just smells amazing. It's rosemary.
Rosemary. It's
actually
so fresh.
It's from my backyard.
Oh,
Just a little
organic. Organic.
It makes huge difference. Just this one little piece. Now we get to specifically to sous vide, and sous vide is about cooking in a vacuum. So what we're going to do again, we have food
You
saver.
have all this.
We'll use the olive oil in a second. So we're going to take plastic bag and we're going to seal it. So technically, when we're talking about sous vide, we're talking about cooking in a vacuum. So we're going to put this piece of meat to the vacuum bag, seal it, and put back to the water. And
interesting.
yeah, it sounds complicated, but
No,
The water.
I'm curious.
Yes, we're going to use special device, which obviously called Sous Vide. And what Sous Vide does, it heats the water up to very, very specific temperature we set using different kind of applications or just different kind of controls on device itself. So our goal is to vacuum the bag first, put the bag to the water, heat it to specific temperature, and cook, in our case, the steak up to some specific temperature, which is obviously temperature of the water. The good news that when you cook the steak and you want to cook the steak to specific temperature inside and outside from edge to edge, there is no way other than sous vide to cook the steak, for example, have same temperature inside and outside. When you use sous vide, you first of all you cook under low temperature for the long period of time, and you have, for example, if you want to cook steak to 155, just an example, you'll have 155 here, here, and 155 inside. When you put steak on the grill, it going to heat up from top to the middle, and let's say you have 155 inside, but you're most likely going to have 170 from on outside.
Oh, I never thought about it.
So our bag is done. We're going to put our steak to the bag.
It requires the special bag, so
I
bags
like.
are just.
I did some research, so you can't use any kind of bag. There are some, I would say, safe brands,
absolutely.
and one of them is Food Saver. I know you can use Ziploc, and you'll be surprised if you go to the website, for example, to Food Saver or Ziploc. They have specific information to the people who worry about cooking in plastic, and they give you 100% that cooking in Food Saver or Ziploc is 100% safe. Yes,
Good.
and they have this information for people who use sous vide and for people who just worry about, again, using plastic while cooking.
Well, now we don't worry.
Yep, don't worry, we'll be fine. So the last step we're going to do, and you're going to help me, we need to lead just a little bit of olive oil to the bag.
Just splash it.
Just splash. Yep, give me a second. Perfect. And maybe on another side, just a little bit. We're good. All right, so now we have our steak in the bag, and no, that's fine. And we're going to seal the bag. Again, we're using Food Saver. If you want to use Ziploc, there's some little procedure for that, but again, we're not going to talk about Ziploc today. So we're going to vacuum the bag. Almost done.
What done? We can eat it?
Not yet. Just wait for the red light turns green.
So
all the juices, all the spices, everything is going to stay inside of the bag. And we're done. So here's what we have. We have steak in the bag. And we're ready to cook. All right?
Can you froze it and then cook it?
Yes, you can, but you can do vice versa, I would say. You can cook and then freeze.
Oh,
And if you
even
need,
better.
if you want to reheat the steak, we'll probably talk after we have the steak done. But technically, you can cook, you can freeze after. When you want to reheat, just put to the warm water, some specific temperature. We're not going to cover everything. We just want to give some basics. So we have
how it looks like. Look,
sealed
it's so
steak.
cute.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, right? All right, so we have our steak in the bag. It's ready to be cooked. And there are a few very basic steps, which are very easy to remember. So we're going to put this back to the water. And we have a little device here. There's so many different brands on the market right now. We're not going to talk about specific brand, but I use a Nova. And what's good about this device, what I like about it, you can actually use any container. You can use any shape, anything. So basically, let me show you. We have device immersed to the water. We set the temperature, and I use software to set the time. Now, few things to remember.
Special software for this device?
Yes, it's Bluetooth. So Bluetooth connected to the device. I set the temperature and I set the time. Now, the next question people ask me, how long should I cook the steak for and what temperature should I choose? We're not going to cover this topic today. And the reason is there's so many resources online. And number one, if you want to make the steak medium, if you want to make steak well done, if you want to make steak medium rare, you really need to play around with the temperature.
Yes.
And again, I just want to repeat myself, go to Google and just type sous vide and you'll have a bunch of different resources and people will tell you, okay, if you have 1 inch steak, use the temperature 134. If you use 2 inches, 134, but for longer time. So anyway, to keep it simple, we take the bag and we just put the bag to the water.
So strange.
One thing you want to make sure the bag is not floating, so it's kind of under the water and it's already start cooking. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to set the temperature on my iPhone, not iPhone, I'm sorry, on the software. I choose to use 133 for 2.5 hours. So, and I start the device. I just press the button and the temperature here, we have 132. It's going to be 133 in a couple minutes and the meat is cooking. There are a few things to remember. Number one, you have to be, first you need to know the temperature and second you need to know the time you're going to cook for. The huge advantage of sous vide, you're not going to overcook your meat. There's no way to overcook it. If you set the temperature for the water 133, you're not going to heat your steak up to 155. So if you cook steak on the grill, you really have to watch, you have to have a lot of experience cooking steak on the grill. And I don't know, maybe you had experience when you go to the restaurant and you order your steak medium.
Yeah.
And suddenly you get a beautiful piece of meat, you taste it and you don't feel well. So I said, you know what, you call the waiter and say, listen, this steak is well done, can you get another one?
So they say it's all because we don't have soup.
And again, do your search. And I know a lot of top chefs, they use sous vide because it's a very easy way to cook the meat. Again, today we're talking the meat, but you can use any kind of product to very specific and precise temperature. Plus, the meat itself has no direct contact with source of heat. So when you put meat on the grill, you have heat from the flame. With sous vide, you have just water. First of all, the water doesn't touch the meat. The water is around, and we have very specific temperature. And why we need more time than, for example, when we use the grill, because obviously we need more time to heat the meat from outside to inside.
Yes.
But after 2.5 hours, we have perfect piece of steak, and we have 133 degree. Again, I choose 133 based on my research, based on my experience, and don't afraid to experiment because sous vide.
Amazing.
It's something. One of the reasons when people start with sous vide, you need to try. You need to try different temperature. You need to try different time, and with a lot of help online, you can find your perfect way to cook. I would say 2 things to remember: temperature and time. It's all you have to worry about. All the spices. Don't worry about spices. You can start with salt and pepper. You can use different spices to your taste, but it's the perfect way to cook the steak. And in 2.5 hours, we have perfect piece of meat. And now, why I love this way to cook? I will explain to you. For example, I know that at 5 p.m. I'm going to have 5 people at my house who 3 of them like medium, 2 of them like rare. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, in perfect world, I would have 2 of this, And one of them I will set to 133, another one I will set to 155
Okay.
in the morning, or I don't know, at 2 p.m. I know that I'm going to have 3 hours ahead, and I will start cooking my steak. And by the time my guests come to my house, I'll have perfectly cooked steak for people who have different preferences. Again, there are many like little secrets. You can cook once and you cook another, but anyway, we're not going to touch the whole topic. But the idea is you will always have perfect steak.
For everyone.
No, for everyone.
Yeah.
For everyone. Now we have 2.5 hours, and let's come back
So
when
it should be cooked.
yeah, it should be good. So we have a lot of time to do our own stuff. Just go to the shopping mall, spend time with kids, or cook the salad, which we're going to do right now.
The best addition to steak is fresh vegetables.
Yes.
Right? Very nice, fresh. So I've got 2 amazing tomatoes at Bazaar West. Like very unusual, great. Look how beautiful.
They're beautiful.
So we'll very cute and shape and things. So we'll just cut it without any special additions, and I think it will be great. I'd like to mention that Dmitry is a leader of very big Facebook group. I actually was thinking that it is just Massachusetts, but you say that it is international group.
We have people from around the world.
Amazing, yes. It's called Olivier.
And it's a cooking group.
Yes. So what you're doing there? What people are doing there?
It's a very friendly group. And believe it or not, when I created group, I wanted to create group for people who like to eat. Because
doesn't like to eat.
I would say
there is no people
a lot of time people confuse and say, oh, I cannot cook, and I always welcome people who cannot cook to my group, because we learn how to cook from each other.
Right.
If you can't cook,
you can learn.
You can learn. Yeah, and we have all kind of questions from beginner to very advanced cook who really, again, very friendly, in a very friendly way, love to share the experience. So welcome to the group.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, and big group, and yes, people are very friendly. So if you like to cook or eat, yeah, I like how you say like to eat.
Like to eat, exactly.
Well, meanwhile, I cut here these beautiful tomatoes, different colors, and sweet onion. This is it. I don't even want to add anything else. And as usual, olive oil, Bazaar West, organic, extra virgin olive oil.
Beautiful.
Yes, there is no such thing as too much olive oil.
All right, 2.5 hours later, our steak is ready.
Wonderful.
So we're going to take the back out of the water.
Okay.
Cut the back. So here's our back. We
Doesn't look like it is ready.
It is ready, believe it or not. Trust me. And
I
I can give you 100% guarantee that we have 133 temperature from inside from outside to inside.
Okay.
So we're going to cut the back. Open the back up. All right. We're going to take the steak out of the back.
Oh.
And
This is
look at this steak. All right. One thing you need to know.
Oh, it smells so good.
It smells, first of all, it smells so good, but it doesn't look so great.
Right.
So when you go to the restaurant, you don't want to get steak like this.
No.
But again, this is really chemistry, and we don't want to get into very fine details. But trust me, this is normal, absolutely fine. It's right color for the steak from Sous Vide. And the last step we're going to do, we're going to make the steak look pretty. We're going to add a little crust to the steak.
Okay.
And the way to do this, we going to use the cooktop, and we're going to sear the steak probably 30 seconds on each side.
Ooh.
Because steak is cooked. We're not going to cook the steak, we're going to make it pretty.
I see.
Period.
I see.
So, if you can help me, just
So the temperature, it should be high?
it must be hot. Yeah, it must be, maybe not like high, but
Oh, but it is so.
okay.
It,
so
just
we're going
second.
to add just a little bit of the oil, just a little, not much. Again, don't forget, we do not want to overcook steak.
cook,
At this
yes.
point, we're not cooking steak. We're just
I
adding little crust to outside.
It looks like boiled, right? If
It looks
is
like
so-
boiled, but remember one thing: it never touched the water. All right, so here's what we're doing.
And it will stay high temperature, right?
Yes, again, for a very short period of time.
Oh. Smell of this meat with spices is absolutely amazing.
Look at that.
Oh,
It's already
so
changing
sharp.
temperature.
Oh.
It's already changing temperature. I mean the color.
Oh yeah, really, yeah.
It's all we have to do.
So just for makeup,
Okay.
right?
For makeup, exactly. Exactly. And again, you would never, ever cook the steak to 133 degree using different kind of cooking method. Sous vide is the only way to cook the meat to this specific
Oh,
temperature.
look at it, so yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
And because of long period of time we're cooking, the steak will be ready and cooked.
Amazing.
Maybe even a little bit on the side.
Yeah, this is a good idea.
And another side. And we're almost done, believe it or not.
Oh, this is great.
It looks much better,
Yeah,
right?
it's hard to believe that you just put it and it's already brownish because it's already cooked.
Yep,
wow,
it's already
wow,
cooked.
Wow, oh.
All right, so we're going to use the plate.
Yes, let's take it.
And what I really want to show you what's inside. Because we already know what's outside. Please do not overcook. You don't want to warm your steak to
No.
hot.
So I'm turning it off.
All right,
right?
turn it off. Put this to the plate.
Wow, let's
And
do presentation first.
yeah, presentation first. Let me cut the steak first.
Ah,
What I
okay.
want to do, I want to show you how the steak to look inside. All right, and if you look,
Medium.
if you look at the texture and color, you will see exactly same color from edge to edge to inside. So
Right.
it actually tells me that the temperature from here to here is 133 degree, which is amazing.
Wow.
And if you like medium well, I mean medium done,
Yes.
this is the perfect temperature and the perfect texture. And we're going to taste it in a second.
So you already know from your experience, you know that this is the temperature for this kind of steak.
Exactly.
I
Yes. And don't afraid to experiment with the temperature and with the timing. And again, you can always call me, you can email me,
Absolutely.
you can go to my group and
Absolutely.
ask the questions about sous vide. I would love to help you. And most likely we'll look at different tables, different, there's certain applications you can look at which tell you what temperature you have to
What
cook
temperature
specific
to
piece of
use.
meat.
Okay, let's present it beautifully. Ooh. Isn't it
Look
great?
at that, it's beautiful.
Look at that.
Amazing.
Amazing. Smells delicious.
And you have perfect
Yeah.
meat.
What?
You know, you have perfect meat and you have perfect meal.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, well, meat is always perfect meat with vegetables and everything. You see, you made a big change today. Like,
Yep.
it's amazing. Dmitry, thank you so, so much. It
You
was
are welcome.
amazing. And you were watching Taste of Change. Our sponsor is Dmitry Rybinsky. And if you want more videos, go to his, what is this, Facebook group. Big Facebook group. Ask questions, watch more, get more recipes, and it will be also posted on ActonTV.org and waitdestiny.com. Thank you so much for being with us. See you next time.
Thank you.